Hello students. Now we are thorough with the measurement of temperatures. In today's session, we will study about the transfer of heat and its applications. So let's begin.
What is transfer of heat? Heat flows from a hot object to a cold object, or heat flows from an object at higher temperature to another object which is at a lower temperature. This flow of heat is known as transfer of heat. You must have experienced that when you put your hand in a hot bucket of water, after some time your hand will get hotter. Do you know why does this happen? First of all, think which is at higher temperature, the water or your hand? Obviously, the water is hotter, so it is at a higher temperature, and your hand is at a lower temperature. So when you put your hand inside that bucket of water, the heat from the water will transfer to your hand. Why? Because the water is hotter than your hand. This phenomenon is called transfer of heat. Always remember, heat transfers from a hotter object to a colder object. When two objects attain the same temperature, then the flow of heat stops. This means that no heat will be transferred from one object to another if the temperature of the two objects is same. Look at the picture. Suppose the red one is one object and the blue one is another object. The red one is at 100 degrees Celsius and the blue one is at 0 degrees Celsius. So think, where will the heat transfer? As I said, heat will transfer from a hotter object to a colder object. So it will transfer from red object to the blue object. Suppose that the temperature of the red object is 100 degrees Celsius and the blue object is 0 degrees Celsius. So the heat will start to transfer from red to blue and the temperature of the red will start to fall down. Why? Because it is losing heat. It is giving up heat. Simultaneously, the temperature of the right hand side object will start to rise. Why? Because it is gaining heat. Now, when the temperature of both the objects will be similar or same, then the flow of heat will stop. So, this is how the heat flows. If the temperature of both the objects would have been same, then no heat would transfer from one object to another object. So, for the transfer of heat, difference of temperature between both objects is compulsory. So now that you know how the heat transfers, we will see the ways through which heat can transfer. So there are three ways through which heat can be transferred from a hot object to a cold object. The first one is called conduction. Now the conduction process only happens in solids. Do you remember that everything in this world is made up of very tiny particles called molecules? You must have studied about the states of matter. Matter exists in three states: solid, liquid, and gas. In solids, the particles inside the solids are very closely packed or very tightly packed. They cannot move. So what happens in solid is heat transfers by a method of conduction. In the picture, you can see there is an iron bar and at one end of the iron bar there is a candle. The black dots represent the molecules of the iron bar. Now, when we heat up one end of the iron bar, the molecules start getting heated up, and since the molecules cannot move, the heat will be transferred from one molecule to another molecule. So this method is known as conduction of heat, where the particles do not actually move, but they transfer the heat from one particle to another particle. Notice that when the particles get heated up, they also start to vibrate. The next way of heat transfer is called convection. Convection happens in liquids as well as gases. In liquids, the particles or the molecules are very loosely packed. Similarly, in gases also, the particles are very loosely packed. So they are free to move everywhere. They do not remain confined to a place. In the picture, you can see some water in a pan which is kept over a stove. Now, when the stove heats up the water, the lower portion of the water gets heated up. The molecules of the lower portion of the water gets heated up. Since the particles are free to move, the particles will start to rise upwards, and the colder particles at the top of the water will come downwards. They will again get heated up and they will again go upwards. And this is how a cycle starts to move. So the difference between conduction and convection is, in conduction, the transfer of heat happens due to the passage of heat from one particle to another particle. But in convection, the particles get heated up and actually move, and this is how the heat gets transferred. This movement of particle is also known as a convection current. The blowing of land breeze and sea breeze in the coastal areas is generally occurred due to the convection of heat in air. In coastal areas, during the daytime, the breeze generally flows from the sea towards the land, and during the night time blows from the land towards the sea. Sea and land breezes are actually convection of heat. Now, what is the meaning of breeze? Breeze is nothing but moving air. Let us see the reason behind sea breeze. During the day, the land heats up more than water. Due to this, the air over the land becomes hotter and lighter and rises up. So, the air from the sea, which is cooler and heavier, rushes to take the place created by hot rising air. Therefore, a sea breeze blows during the day. In this picture, you can see that during the daytime, the warm air is rising up and the cold air from the sea is taking its place. Since the air flows from sea to the land, it is called sea breeze. Now let us see the reason behind land breeze. During the night, the land loses heat faster than the water and becomes colder, and the air over the sea is now warmer, due to which it rises up and the cooler air over the land rushes to take its place. Therefore, we observe a land breeze at night. In this picture, you can see that during the night time, the warmer air, which is represented by red arrows, is rising up and the cooler air from the land, which is represented by blue arrows, is moving towards the sea. Since the air is moving from land to the sea, it is called land breeze. The last way by which heat transfers is called radiation. Radiation happens when there is a vacuum. The best example is the sun rays which falls on the earth's surface. Do you know that the sun do not directly heats up the air? First, the rays of the sun falls on the land, and after that the air columns which are touching the land gets heated up, and this is how the earth's surface heats up. Similarly, when we light up a fire, the heat energy transfers by radiation. The radiation process does not require anything like conduction and convection. It transfers through vacuum. Do you know that the light colored clothes reflects the sunlight and thus it keeps us cool, while the dark colored clothes absorb the sunlight and thus it keeps us warm. You can see in the picture that a white t-shirt is reflecting the light, whereas a black t-shirt is absorbing the light, because black is dark colored and white is light colored. In winters, we use woolen clothes. Why? Because wool is a poor conductor of heat. Moreover, there is air trapped in between the wool fibers. This air prevents the flow of heat from our body to the cold surroundings, so we feel warm. Students, this is the end of our chapter. In this chapter, we studied about heat and temperature and what is the difference between them. After that, we studied about the device which is used to measure the temperature. After that, we studied about the ways of transfer of heat and also some examples. I hope you found these sessions useful. I would recommend you to read the book so that you are thorough with the chapter. I'll meet you next time. Take care.